Hello students, in this video today we are going to learn about a chapter from your English reader book, chapter 2, The Wrong House of class 8. So let's begin. So as the story is too long, the chapter is too long, so I will give you a short summary of the story. So as you can see the title, The Wrong House. Okay, so the title of the story reflects the whole idea. Okay, so what is the story about? So what happens? The story begins where we can see a dark, quiet night. Okay, the night was very dark and silent. And two men, okay, you can see in the picture two men. So these two are who? Robbers. One is Hasty and the other is Blackie. Okay, so they were running, okay, in search to hide themselves. Okay, so they found this house, okay, which was very silent and dark. And they went here into the house, and with their duplicate keys they had opened the house, okay, and entered the home. Now in the suitcase you can see both of them, these two robbers, has robbed a bank, and the suitcase consists of $300,000 in it. Okay, now when they entered the house, they checked the whole house, the living room, the bedrooms, okay, the kitchen, and they found that the whole house was empty, and they came to know that the family was on vacation. Okay, now they could also see that all the carpets were rolled properly, and the furnitures, they were covered in white sheets, and they could find a thin layer of dust everywhere in the house. So from this they came to know that the family was on vacation. Okay, now after this they tried to recall the past events that they had done. Okay, they are discussing. Now what happened after robbery? When they were coming in their car, okay, they ran over a policeman. Okay, they ran over the car over a policeman. Now where after doing this, the other policeman chased them. Okay, and while chasing, the policeman shot fires on them, and one of the fire shot their tire, and that car was unable to move. So to save their life, they have to run away and abandon the car. Okay. Now after coming in the house, they decided that they would spend the night, okay, in the house, and in the following morning, okay, they would buy a car, okay, from the automobile sales agency, okay, and move to other place with the money. Now because the automobile sales agency opened at 8 o'clock, so they had to wait for the whole night, okay, and leave in the morning. And while searching the house, Blackie found some books in the house, and in the books the name was written Mr. Rogers. So they came to know that the house belonged to one Mr. Rogers. So they spent the night in the house, and in the following morning they decided to go to buy a car from the automobile sales agency. Now they thought that it was very risky to move with the money. It was very risky to move with such an amount of money here and there. So they decided to hid the suitcase in the coal cellar of the house. So they went into the coal cellar of the house and hid the suitcase in the heap of the coal. Okay, under the heap of the coal. Now in the following morning they went to buy a car. So when they bought the car and were coming towards the house, they could see that the house was full of people, okay, and the main gate windows all were open. They could see that the family members had returned from their vacation. Okay, now they were quite tensed. How could they get back their money? So they even planned to go at night and pick up the briefcase, but they thought it was too dangerous. Okay, now what happened? Hasty cooked up a plan, okay, to get the money back. Now they went to a PCO, and from the directory book they found the number of Mr. Samuel Rogers. Okay, and he called him and said that, is this Mr. Rogers' house? And then Mr. Rogers replied, yes, this is Mr. Rogers. And then he said, I am from the police headquarters. He introduced himself as Simpson. Okay, I am Mr. Simpson. Okay, he introduced himself as Inspector Simpson and Detective Johnson to Mr. Rogers over the phone. And they said that they are from the Crime Investigation Department, and that the Director General of Police had, that is the DGP, had ordered them to meet with him. They had something confidential to talk with him. Now, Mr. Rogers pretended to be nervous and frightened, and he asked them that was he in any problem, and they said no, that they just have to talk with him. Now they didn't have the slightest idea that Mr. Rogers was the actual chief of police. Okay, he was the real chief of police. Now, after when they went to Mr. Rogers' home, they told him some story, okay, about the suitcase, and they, both of the three, they went to the coal cellar of the house and took out the briefcase, and they thanked Mr. Rogers for his help. And as the time they were to leave the house, okay, as they opened the door, they could see the policemen, they were waiting for them to arrest, okay, to arrest them. Now they were very shocked and asked Mr. Rogers that, Mr. Rogers, what is this? Then Mr. Rogers told them that, I am sorry to say that I am the real DGP. I am the DGP. And both the thieves were caught by the police, and the money was given to the bank. So this was the story, the short summary of the story, The Wrong House. Okay, thank you.